Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and look what I found randomly. Now, I was watching for this to come out. This deck is Pixie's Astounding Lenormand, and it's put together by Edmund Zebrowski. It is using the artwork of Pamela Coleman Smith, who of course did the artwork for the Rider-Waite-Smith deck that we all know and love to differing degrees. But I think whether or not we use the Rider-Waite-Smith on a continual basis, I think that we all respect where it has come from and the monumental piece of history that it is in our tarot history. So I certainly now I'm going to have to get, there's a centennial edition, I believe, of the Rider-Waite-Smith that has got a beautiful backing that is in a tin as well, and I am going to now have to get that to go with this. But anyways, this deck was first in a self-published deck, and when I first saw it, it had gone out of, it was out of print. You couldn't get a hold of it, and then I heard, I kind of was watching it, and then I heard that it was coming out by US Game Systems. So this is a US Game Systems deck that just came out about a month ago or so, and it came onto Amazon about a month ago, but then it was held up. There were some delays with them getting the product, and so I was just kind of watching. I don't generally pre-order things. I just kind of watch them until I don't know why either. I should probably just pre-order them. But I don't like the idea, I guess, of things just randomly coming out of my account when they finally do ship and I may not be aware of it, and so I just wait till it comes out. But anyways, I've been watching for this, but then I didn't get around to getting it, and I went to Barnes & Noble's today on the way home, and there was one sitting on the shelf. I don't know if they just got one in. I mean, I can't imagine, it doesn't seem as if my Barnes & Noble sells very much Lenormand or Tarot. The same exact decks, the same exact number are almost always there. It doesn't really get much business that way, so I don't know if they just got one in and I got lucky. But either way, I was so excited to see this. So it's in a little tin, and it's a sweet, cute tin, and I love it. Look at it's got a lot of great, lovingly created with artwork from the Smith-Waite Tarot deck and the Golden Vanity. This charming 36-card Petite Lenormand deck is a tribute to Pamela Coleman Smith and includes a 132-page booklet. And here's the other side. It is adorable. I love this tin to pieces. And so then inside, look at this little book. Is that not the cutest little white book ever? My favorite little white book is so far is probably the Fountain Tarots, but look at how cute. It's like it's bound, it's like a little bound book. I just love little things. That's maybe why I love Lenormand so much. Look how stunning this is. And so here we have a nice little book, actually. It has an introduction, I think, kind of to Lenormand getting popular amongst the tarot world. So we have that going on here at the beginning. Then it has a kind of the card legend. So it shows each section. We're going to have a card energy, keywords, full meaning, how it relates to love, career, characteristics and quality, and timing, and also image origins. So you get quite a lot. Now, it also talks a bit about neutral cards. I mean, there's really a lot of information in this little book. It kind of reminds me of the Celtic Lenormand. It's a smaller book than that, but there's still a lot of information packed in here. So here we have for the rider, the card energy is positive. The information, delivery, news, information, new things, messenger, moving forward, visitor, speed. Then we have the full meaning. When the rider shows up, you can be sure that news is soon to follow. The card is one of movement and swift action of things happening soon. Pay attention to which direction the rider is moving and or which card the rider is moving away from. So in love, this is a new love interest, a flirtatious situation that may in time lead to something deeper, but not right now. Career, either a change in directive or a department could happen. Answers are coming quickly about things related to the job. To the right, here's where the card on the left would give an indication of what the news is about. So bear plus rider would tell us work news. Key plus rider, important or key information is writing. To the left, here the news is coming soon. Usually the outcome of the news is depicted on the right of the card. So rider is good news arriving. Rider house is a visitor is arriving. The timing is very soon, usually within the next day or within 1 week. And then it tells us the image origin. The rider himself sits on the horse of the Knight of Cups, which brings news with it. The body of the rider is from that of the Six of Wands to help bring victorious energy, while the head is from the Page of Wands, noting this is the ambassador. He's looking the catechist from Two of Cups to help understand that he is the bearer of news. So that's what all the information you get for the first card. And it goes through, gives you all the positive and negatives, all the way through the cards for each. That's a lot of information for each of them. And I love how it tells you what the image is from. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of, it's a tightly bound one. And I'm a spine cracker. So I will definitely, okay. It's hard around the top back of the, I was just wanting to see, here we go. It's hard around the tripod. I have the tripod set up differently, and so it's a farther reach. There we go. I know, don't cringe those people who can't stand me to crack spines. So it talks about the grand tableau, but it says, here's a 3 card, and it gives you an example. Once you're comfortable with the 3 cards, here's a 6 card. And so it doesn't go into much in terms of like the spreads and things. But that's a nice little book. That is a handy book that fits right into the tin. You can just pop this into your bag and have everything you need right with you. That's really, really cute. I love this. I think it's a great little book. I have not read through it yet to really see, like the clouds are negative, obviously. The child is positive. So I haven't really looked through it. I'll be honest, I don't use Lenormand, guidebooks all that much because, once you get a key understanding, then you're just kind of rolling with it. But this is a lot of handy information for somebody that is new, especially to Lenormand. So that's the little guidebook. Now, can we just pause here for a moment and say, look at these card backs. How absolutely gorgeous. Yes, let me see what it is. Yeah. I don't understand why U.S. Game Systems needs to have their copyright on it. If it was Pamela Coleman Smith or something, maybe, but I don't particularly like that. But at least it's very tiny, so I can live with it. Reversals obviously are not important for Lenormand, but that is a stunning back. Absolutely beautiful, simple, gorgeous. The color, I will definitely probably be doing the edges sort of that light linen color, because everything is kind of that linen-y look, except for obviously the sides are just kind of white. It doesn't look bad at all, but I probably will be doing that. And then we have the card that will have the number at the top, the name underneath, and then the card association in the bottom right corner. So how wonderful is that? I'm going to, let's see, sorry, this is the new camera or camcorder, so let's zoom it in here. Look at this. Okay. So now, as we saw, the rider was one thing, the body was from another, the head from is another. So he definitely had to collage some of these things together to get the cards. And there are a couple from the images I've seen before that don't work quite as well, but I think it all works. In the end, I haven't seen all of the cards yet. There's a couple that stand out that I've seen that was kind of like, okay, you definitely had to piece that. But to me, this looks kind of pulls together quite well, actually. So here we have the rider, the clover, I love how we have the rainbow. The ship. The house. I love the moon on the top of the house. The tree. I'm really interested to read through and just kind of see what cards all these pieces came from. That's something I will definitely be doing. Here we have the clouds. Now, for me personally, I wish the clouds were on this side, because for me, the dark clouds are usually here, light clouds are on the right always. That's kind of how I just read things. But again, because I've been reading for a while, I don't even hardly look at the image. If the clouds are here, I kind of look to the right side for things that are lightning in the dark. So I just do it no matter what the image says, shows. But here we have the snake. I like that it's just a snake. There's nothing particularly evil looking about it. I love the coffin. It almost looks like maybe it's the coffin. Well, she's definitely more praying, but again, I'll be so excited to see all the places that it pulled from. The bouquet. The scythe. You know, this is very clearly a scythe. You know, you got the blunt end, you got the pointy end, you got the harvest end. So it's what you need for this. The whip. Birds. Here we have the child. Now this is obviously from the Golden Vanity, which was or is, I suppose, a book that that Pamela Coleman Smith did the illustrations on. I believe that it is of a ballad. I've seen the book that was this one, and it was another one, and there were two ballads, and then she did some plates for illustrations. Here we have the fox. The bear. I mean, they're very clearly what they are. The stars. I love that. The stork. Now this one's a little awkward because we just have this little random, you know, rainbow over here over this house, and these kind of storks do look a little bit stuck on there, but I'm sure that this was probably not the easiest one to come up with. Let's see. The stork. The storks in this card come in from the book In Chimney Corners, Merry Tales of Irish Folklore, which featured artwork by Pamela Coleman Smith. The background and the rainbow are from the Joyous Ten of Cups. So it looks like it comes from more than just, this says from the Golden Vanity, but this is pulling it from In Chimney Corners. So it seems to be pulling from a variety of her work. In order to kind of, you know, get this all together. But I think it's great. Again, just knowing that this deck, you know, was created to kind of pay tribute to her. And so, you know, yes, some things are going to look a little bit like they're collaged together, but I think it's fantastic anyways. Here we have the dog. I love that they're Roman numerals too. The tower. The garden. A lot of times you'll have a statuary or a fountain here, and so I just love that. The mountain. The crossroads. I'm wondering if this is, I know, I'm sorry, the crossroads. 22. I'm just curious if this is the, what I want to see is whether or not this is the, I think this is from Between the Moon card. Crossroads, crossroads. Oops, here, image origin. The Fool card and the Moon meet in this card. The path off of the bottom of the Moon card merges into the mountains of the Fool. So it's a combination. That's pretty cool. I knew, I was pretty sure it had something to do with the Moon card. So that's pretty cool. I like it. Here we have mice. Definitely lots of mice on the table. Nothing good can come of mice on the table. The heart. Love that. The ring. The hand in the clouds. The book. got these backgrounds. You can see pieces of things. I'm really excited to read through it all. Here we have the letter. Now, I don't like this as much because we do have a person. You could at first glance assume that this is going to be the lady, because in Lenormand we really don't have a lot of people. But she's holding a letter, and again, as soon as you get to know the deck, just very briefly, that shouldn't be an issue, and she's very clearly reading a letter. I'm of the sort with Lenormand that do want just, you know, like we see here, a ring. I want to see a letter smack in the middle of the thing. That's just me personally, because when I'm scanning for a grand tableau, I just want to know without looking closely what it is, but it does not take long to kind of key into that. Now, you can see that with the man and the woman, which is nice, they've put sort of a top border along the top that will make that really stand out that it is a significator card. So I do like that. So we have here the gentleman and the lady. They are looking in different directions, so you can have them looking at each other, you know, or not looking. If you use that sort of directionality, that is there. So I like that. Here we have the lilies. The sun is beautiful. I'm not a sun face person, but I like that. It's all right. That's fantastic. Moon, look at that. Love it. The key. Interesting. Not my favorite key ever, but it's interesting. Here we have the fish. These fish, I'm not going to lie, look like they're floating or going down the toilet drain. I'm sorry. Just ignore me. If the creator of this deck ever happens to randomly watch my videos, I have a crazy mind. But I do like, again, it's quite obvious that it's fish. I do like that there are multiple fish on it. So that's all that really matters. And I have a tired brain that sees weird things. I love this anchor. Look at the detail work on the anchor. That's pretty cool. And then we have the cross, which is quite obviously a cross. So I think these are fantastic. Actually, I thought there would be more that would be kind of problematic. I actually like the kind of goofiness of the storks. My least favorite is probably the fish, just because of the way they were laying. But truthfully, I mean, this is a hard project to do. Let's just see where this comes from with the fish. 34. It's interesting with the key that it says this card has more esoteric significance than most of the other cards. Let's go back here. I was going to the fish, but I got sidetracked. So this has more esoteric. As the 33rd card in the deck, and 33 being the highest degree in masonry, the key card conveys a sense of spiritual unlocking. The sun is from the Fool card, the light of pure knowledge. The moons on either side are from the High Priestess, lending an air of mystery. The key itself is made up of the Wheel of Fortune, and the pillars off of the Hierophant card, indicating a mastering of fate in a way. The moons and key form the planetary symbol for Uranus. Interesting. A planet of new understanding. The yods from the moon card are 11 in number, being attributed to mastery in numerology. Sorry, I'm kind of sinking down. So yeah, lots of interesting things there. But I was going for the fish. The fish was a simple find from the back cover of the Golden Vanity and the Green Bed book illustrated. So the fish, which is, you know, again, I think it would be difficult to come up with fish. I can't think of any fish off the top of my head from the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I'm not really an aficionado of the Rider-Waite-Smith. So there we have the card. I'm actually really thrilled with the cards. I think they did a fantastic job. I just love that. Then again, I'm gonna have to get, I think it's the Centennial, or the, yeah, I think it's the Centennial Pamela Coleman Smith like edition of the Rider-Waite Smith that has sort of this more, I think it has more of a muted tones. It has more textures like in the backgrounds and such that I think would be really beautiful with it. It has a really pretty backing too. I think I'm going to have to pick that up to use for Three Voices readings because I don't think my one kind of learning Rider-Waite Smith will quite do for that. We shall see. I'll pull it out in a minute. So here, let's just give it a good, actually let me zoom back out. There we go. Give it a good, well, that wasn't a very good shuffle because I still have the rider right at the bottom. They feel great, you know, typical kind of card, you know, playing card stock. Very nice though. I mean, they shuffle well. They're a little, you know, they can kind of, I don't know if you can hear that, they kind of pop. So they have a little bit of a stiff factor to them that I'm sure will ease up as they're used. You hear that? Okay, good enough. So let's just do a 9 card just to see them out. Actually, I like to Lord and the Lady. Yeah, they need a long, good long shuffle. But I do really like how we have this band for the significator cards. I think that's really fantastic. But look at that. I think this is really, 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 really wonderful. I mean, really, this is gorgeous. I think that they did a great job with this. Let me pull this up. Do a little bit of a, I like to, okay, we're going to looking at commitment. Okay, take the ring, take a couple cards before it, and a couple cards after it. A lot of my Three Voices, I'll do my Lenormand this way, where, of course, I'm all whopper jawed, but do a Three Voices where you kind of, I'll pull 5 cards like this. So there we have that. I'm really, really, really loving. I think this is gorgeous. I'm going to have to put it out in a grand tableau and take a picture of it, and I'll put it at the end. But let me grab. Now, the only Rider-Waite Smith I have is just a typical with the blue backs, kind of hash plaid backs. I have written on them, but that's all right. Oh. Okay. I made this, I messed with my tripod so I could get it up higher, so I could get a better view, kind of flat down on the bed. But what it does is it actually gives my tripod, because I do it extra legs down, and it actually gives my tripod a bigger footprint, so I'm even further away from the table as normal. I think I'm not going to be doing it this way. Actually, one reading I just did, I had it on the other side of the table, and I actually quite liked it because I didn't have anything in front of me. I just have to get used to kind of doing things upside down. So I might try that on the next deck review. But anyways, so what I would normally do for a Three Voices reading, I generally do start with the Lenormand. And so I would take the Lenormand, shuffle that. I'm obviously just doing this really quickly. So here we have the bouquet. They're very talkie cards. So here we have the bouquet, the scythe, and the crossroads. So we sort of have an ending of a path. And here we have the dog with the mice. So there's some loyalty issues being eaten away at. But we do have overall, we have the bouquet, which is obviously of good luck and things. So we would certainly want to get more information about what's going on here. I definitely have to look closer at the Centennial cards because here's the sun face. Let me just hold it up here. There is definitely an antiqued look to these, as in comparison to the bright white. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick that up on this, but of the bright white of my version of the Rider-Waite-Smith, I'm hoping the Centennial version is more of this antiqued look. I'll have to look that up. But so then, obviously, well, I wouldn't go from there, but then what I would do is draw 3 cards here. The Devil, the Just, well, that's pretty auspicious. But then I'm going to have to think about, so let's say I have those. Look at how awesome that is. I mean, truthfully, that's fantastic. Again, I really want to get the, I'm pretty sure what I want is a Centennial version or Bicentennial, something like that, to go with it. But I'd really have to think about what I would use as my oracle. Something vintagey. I need to look for a vintagey or I know I'm terrible, but I do the 3 voices readings are some of my favorite readings to do. And so whenever I get a deck now, I'm kind of like, ooh, what is this going to go with? Like, what's going to work together with this and have a cohesive, because you can use any deck, trust me, I know this. But there is something about having a little bit of cohesiveness to it so that it's not completely jarring. And just for the pure fun of it, let's be honest. So I'll have to think about it. If you all can think of give me some ideas of what you think might be a good oracle, kind of a more vintage oracle deck that might go with these 2 decks. I would be open to suggestions about it. And yeah, again, if you have the Centennial, the Centennial I know it's got a beautiful simple backing too. Bicentennial, I gotta look that up. So those are 2 things. Do you have the Centennial? Is it kind of this sort of vintagey, more vintage toned cardstock, or is it like this bright white of this? Let me know that. And then also if you have suggestions of what might be a great vintage kind of style oracle deck to go for a 3 voices reading, I would love those suggestions as well. So this has been a look at the wonderful Pixie's Astounding Lenormand. It's put together by Edmund Zabrowski. Obviously the art is by Pamela Coleman Smith, and the system is a US Games system published deck. So thank you for watching this. I'm really, really pleased with this. I will go ahead and do out a grand tableau. Won't fit on my small reading table, but I will put one out and put a image in so that you can see them all out in a grand tableau.